Hello, everybody. My name's Crrissa. I'm a singer, I'm an actress, I'm a voiceover artist, and I'm also a part time music streamer on Twitch. So, my audio setup is pretty dang important. My technology has grown over the 4+ years that I've been streaming on Twitch, and as you guys might know, I've already reviewed one of Meze Audio's headphones, the 99 Classics, the over the ear closed back headphones that I picked out by myself 4 years ago when I started this journey. And I reached out to Meze recently and asked if they had any affiliateships or sponsorships or anything that they were willing to do with me. And they said that they'd be willing to have me review the Meze Classics. And they also offered to send me the Alba in-ear headphones. Now, as a singer, I was very terrified of in-ears. In-ears are kind of a scary thing for a singer that has 2 degrees in vocal performance and has been in so many choirs, because as a choir nerd, I am used to being in a room and knowing how the room is talking to me acoustically. And so when there are actual things inside my ears telling me what's going on, but actually changing the way that the room sounds, it freaking scares me. And it makes me feel like my right arm has been cut off or something. And so that was my experience when I worked with in-ears about, I don't know, 3-4 times when I was doing a gig for one of my local churches, and they had some in-ears, and it was, for me, an experience where I would use the in-ear on one ear, but then I would just pop out another one while I was trying to harmonize with my fellow singers, because I wanted to know what was going on. I wanted to know exactly how they were tuning, how they were breathing, and all of that information wasn't really conveyed to me in the in-ears that I was using at the time. So, that's the beginning of this story, and the beginning of this review is I was a little bit nervous going into it. Now, the day that I got my in-ears, I shoved them in my ears. I went to all of my Discord appointments, and I started out with an appointment with one of my producer friends, Matt, and he was showing me some of his bigger pieces with lots of orchestrational swells and lots of crazy big thick EDM tracks that he was playing. And with my in-ears, it felt really tinny, and I was like, oh no, is the quality of the sound not up to par for the work that I'm doing and how I'm producing my music? And so I got kind of nervous, and I felt like, oh no, is this a product that I'm not going to be able to review well? Am I not the right person to review this? And I also, after about 40 to 50 minutes, my head started kind of like I kind of got a little bit of a headache with the in-ears in, because I'm really not used to them, and I was like, oh no, I'm probably not the person for this. I shouldn't be reviewing these. Like, I'm going to make them look bad, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward to my first stream. And I streamed for 3 hours with these puppies in that I currently have in. And I realized that the tinny sound was the imbalance of my levels on my computer. These in-ears function as near-field speakers, and I have never used near-field speakers. So I was getting a sound back that was so flat, and I was not understanding exactly why that sound was coming back to me. And so once I moved around some of my levels on stream and kind of figured out exactly where I needed everything to be, I realized that my gain was totally out of whack for my voice compared to my instrumentation. And that all the loops that I was creating were totally just drowning out my voice, or vice versa. And I had so much more control over the actual mix and how all of the layers were actually functioning. And after 3 hours, I had a little bit of soreness on the inner parts of my ears, but I didn't have a headache. I didn't hurt at the end of the day, and I didn't have this like pounding headache that I thought I was going to have after like having these in my ears for 3 hours. And the experience was so seamless. Like, it looked like I didn't have anything in or any headphones. It looked like I was just existing in the space, and it made it look like a very professional quality stream. It kind of elevated the level of everything. So for me, this was a huge kind of aha moment, and I realized that these headphones, these in-ears, have totally revolutionized my producing, my streaming, my listening, everything. It's incredible how different it is. Now, I use these headphones when I am trying to get a production or a sound or levels that make sense for everything. Yeah, there's still a little bit of soreness that happens because I'm just not used to them. And there is some getting used to exactly what it sounds like back to me. It sounds like a monitored sound. But I know now that the information that it's giving me is based on the way that I'm producing my sounds in my DAW or in my Logic Pro. So quite honestly, these in-ears have been an experience that have taught me a ton and have really revolutionized the way that I do things. Now, let's talk about the actual in-ears. This is what I received. Meze does it again. They are incredible with their boxes and with their, like, how you receive the product. They're so good at that. Gorgeous, fuzzy inside right there. And then they have an adapter for USB-C. And then they have several options for how big or little you want your earbuds to be. I'm currently wearing a medium, and they're totally fine. I started out with a small, and I decided they were popping out and shifting a little bit too much, so I need to go to a medium. But these sizes go from, I think, extra small or small all the way to extra large, which you'll probably find the size that'll work for you, you know, depending on what your sizes are. But here's the thing about these in-ears too. The cord is gorgeous. I always love Meze Audio's cords and the way they do cords, and this cord is like braided together. It's so pretty, so cool, and you can't tell that I'm wearing them. I mean, yeah, you can tell if I point them out, but they're in ears, and it just looks like I'm in the room just having a conversation, which I think really adds to what I'm doing as a content creator online. I love them. I love everything about them. I love the packaging. I love the feel. I love the look. I love that they're super portable. And the price for in-ears, guys, it's not bad. In-ears, as we know, can get into tens of thousands of dollars in cost. And these are $150, which honestly, as a price point for good in-ears that are giving you feedback that are near field speaker level, I gotta say, it's a pretty good investment, and I feel like I'm really getting an awesome product, and I feel like these products have completely revolutionized what I'm doing here in my studio. So, again, I highly recommend these, and it's not just because they asked me to review them, guys. I went through a whole situation where I realized exactly what I was getting, but I didn't know what I was getting when I first got them, and I am so glad that I now have the Meze Audio ALBAs. If you are interested in also getting yourself a pair of ALBAs, I have the link below, which is my personal affiliate link, so I do get a portion of that if you use that link in particular. Feel free to ask me questions if you still want to know questions or still want to know things about these headphones in particular and how I kind of grew into them and grew to really realize how much they were giving me. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for watching. And Meze, thank you so much for taking a chance on this silly little singer and giving her a pair of in-ears that she will never forget. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!